I am back with another eBay purchase. I've always been really choosy with eBay bulk coin lots. I like the ones where you can see exactly what coins you're getting. This particular lot was, I would say, it's solid. Many times I'm looking for bargains on eBay. This one wasn't necessarily a bargain. It's going to be a 5 pound lot. I paid, after shipping, I paid $61 for it. And to me, what set this one apart was it was a dealer from Arkansas, goes by the name of AG Coin and Bullion, and definitely a dealer. He said this was lot number 55 of bulk coins, and so this guy has sold a lot of these before, but it's been a while. It's not like he makes one or 10 10 for sale all the time or anything like that. So it seemed like it had some pretty good stuff in it. There was one coin in particular that to me was worth $6. And I thought that looking at what else was in here, it wasn't overfull with common stuff. I mean, there was plenty of common things in here, but I saw a lot of high quality coins in here as well. And so, of course, I couldn't see everything. I could just see what was on top. And now it's time for me to cut this box open. He did ship it using ground advantage. I tend to think it's better to use priority mail. When it's only a 5 pound lot, if you can get the $11 priority mail flat rate shipping box, I tend to think that goes better. But you know, it's early in the year, not a lot going on. It made it here in 3 days, and I think that's just fine. And it is time for the big reveal. And there we have a bag of coins, and got a minimal amount of packing bubbles. So my son will like jumping on those. And we've got a letter with a handwritten thank you on here, but it says AG Coin and Bullion is the shop name. In case you love it, maybe he'll post another one of these fairly soon. There was a second coin that was buried on a little bit that I could see that I thought was going to be I just had the awkward realization that I've been rambling for about 10 minutes as I've been going through this and had the whole recording pause. So I don't think I've shown you anything that I've gotten so far. So let me just say that I am starting to see a lot of coins that were pulled out of proof sets, because this dealer would have been someone that sells silver, so they might get one of these Bahama proof sets that have 3 or 4 silver coins worth about 3 ounces of silver, and are trying to discard some of the low value coins. And I'm seeing that with the Canadian coins as well. In 1966, they would have still had the silver dollar. Did find one of these. And I pulled out this Australian dollar out of here. I like this. I think this one is I bought one of these from a dealer from a show last year. I think this was a 1-year coin. Has some, I think it's Aboriginal art of a kangaroo. So that one is neat. I found this Israeli coin, and I recognize the lion from a half a shekel. I think that's what it's from. I don't necessarily remember it from the 5 shekels, so I need to look into that a little bit more. A lot of the Israeli coins came out of a set and were glued to something. So that could be a problem if I get too many of those. Then there was also a Canadian quarter that was made from the 50th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's reign in 2002. So it has the double date on it. I found a 1-cent coin like that also that had some glue damage on its other side. But so far, I think my favorite coin is this 50 pence, new pence from 1980 from Jersey. And I don't think I've seen one of those before. So I think I've got us caught up to everything that I thought I saw that was worthwhile up until here. But I will keep looking for some different things that are not as common. Poland 5 zloty, that was in decent condition. This one's in pretty good shape for the way I usually find this coin. I say that and it's like covered in dust or something, but Morocco, it seems like it has sharper details than I normally find it. So 1 dirham from 1974. And then found a few Poland commemorative coins. This one's going to feature Boleslaw Prus, coin dated 1975. I like this one from 1965. It's the florin, or the 2 shilling from Ireland. This is a coin that at one time would have been made out of silver, I think, but not by then. Here's what the 1 euro cent from Austria looks like. 2 euro cent. Old George V halfpenny. That one's in rough shape. The Scottish version of the shilling from 1964. I believe this version of the Finland marka was also at one time made out of silver, but not by 1990. So pretty sure that this dealer would have pulled all of the silver coins out of a lot like this. But there are some coins in here that I normally find in terrible condition that are better condition than I normally find it in this one. I usually get this coin and it's super rough shape. So I will say that while there have been some coins that are damaged, there are also some coins that I usually find damaged that aren't. Here's another one. This is old. Now recognize it from this side. This is going to be Russian Empire coin, 1873. Super well worn, but it looks like that is a 2 kopeck on here. If that one was in a little bit better shape, that one would have a pretty good value to it. From Vatican City. Ooh, that one is kind of rough. Made out of aluminum, and I usually don't see them tarnished like this. That's 1953. Again, this was probably glued to a set, and I think the Vatican sets at the time had a silver coin in them. Another high quality coin, although one that I find a lot. This is the 5 baht from Thailand. And might just start speed running through some of the coins in here. We've got a 3 kopeck from 1975. $0.10 from 1975. I think I didn't show this one off earlier. It's Mexico 1963, the 20 centavos. I usually find this in incredibly bad condition. But this is one where it's the set that came with the 10% silver peso, still in 1963. And you can even see the words written, etched into, must be someone's name. I don't know if I've even ever noticed that detail on that coin. This is how I usually find it. Okay, so the name's pretty easy to read on that one. Luxembourg, here's a 20 franc. From Korea, here's a 51. I see a coin I like from Poland back here. The 20 zloty. It's a commemorative, and I haven't seen that one in a few years. I like this coin, even though it doesn't have that much of a value to it, but it's featuring a Turkish coin featuring Ataturk. It's the 100,000 lira, and it's the 75th anniversary of, I believe that's the anniversary of Turkey becoming a republic. So it's got the 75 logo on that side of the coin. There's been a lot of these Spain 100 pesetas. So I don't know if they came in a mint set with something. Ooh, here's another pretty coin from Jersey. 10 new pence from 1980. That side's a little bit rough, but that's a pretty coin, and I'm happy to have it. Here's another proof. Okay, I even have this proof set still in its packaging. So this was the 1967, the centennial of the Confederation of Canada, and they changed the look of all of their coins that year, and that one does come with the silver dollar in it. I don't know if I've ever seen the aluminum 1 peseta that shiny before. So, pretty coin, even though it's a very common coin. Australia 20 pence. Here's a coin that was at one time made out of silver from Austria. When it was silver, it was a reeded edge. That must have come out of an Austrian mint set too. From Cyprus, we have the 3 mil featuring a fish. Looking for interesting things. I still have not found the one coin that was on top that made me want to purchase this coin to begin with, or purchase the whole lot, but it'll be in here somewhere, I suppose. Let's go ahead and dump the whole bag on the table. Here's a good one. Think I had this one? Oh, it's ruined because it had. Maybe that can come off, but I don't know if I had this specific one, but I had several from this set where they will have almost a relief drawing of someone important from Israel's history, where the details are smooth, and then what would normally be the background is raised up. I've seen it with all kinds of different ones, but this one has a repeating Star of David look to it. So that's a pretty coin. I have some from that set, but I don't remember offhand if I had that one. I don't find the 200 pesetas very often. This would have translated to, or converted to, a little bit more than €1. So we've got ourselves a crown, and I did see this one in the listing, but it wasn't on top. But we've got the Churchill crown from 1965. Looks like I've got another crown right here. Same one. That one doesn't have a spot on it. I think those make good trade pieces. Another Australian 50 pence, and then a smaller, reduced size 50 pence. Even better than the 200 peseta is the 500 peseta from 1990. So that would have been worth close to €3 when it converted over. And this coin, I believe, originally started out, the first year they made it, as a 25th wedding anniversary of King Juan Carlos and his wife Sophia. So always happy to get those. This may have come out of a mint set, because I don't find that too as pretty so often. Out of aluminum. Certainly some good trade pieces in here. Still digging. So, lots of good coins that I usually find well worn, but in better than average condition shape. So if you're the kind of person who doesn't have to collect silver, and you like collecting all the other coins as well, this one's a good one. 5 golden from 1988. Coin from Egypt featuring a mosque. I think there were 3 or 4 different versions of or coins that look pretty similar to that one. Here's another one that has a good trade value. This one is from Sweden. Now, okay, it does have some corrosion on this side, but it's a 10 kroner. So that coin's worth a couple of dollars. Another Canadian nickel. The 2 forint from Hungary features a flower. And then, let's see, from Denmark, we've got the 10 kroner. That's worth $1.50 just in foreign exchange value. Interesting how it's a small number of countries repeated over and over again. So that's going to be the 1 golden that was similar to the 5 golden that we had just a few minutes ago. Then from New Zealand, we've got the kiwi on the 20-cent piece. From Hungary, the 20 forint. Another 10 kroner from Denmark. £100 from right before France revalued their currency. I'm wondering if that one's been cleaned. At first I was going to say it's the best I've ever seen, that coin, and then no, I'm thinking it's not. Another coin from this set, we've got the 5-cent coin. And then another good one from Australia, we've got the $2 coin, the Aboriginal man on here. Now I just saw that from Hong Kong. What do we have? 5 cents from 1950. Okay, at least that goo comes off of that one. Don't see aluminum coins like that corrode as often. Well, that was obviously from a proof set. Almost wish they could have saved it from being put in, just all thrown into a lot like this, but he was just trying to move them. Still haven't found the one coin I was looking for. So I saw this in the set. So these commemorative Soviet rubles, and there were probably 100 different design of these, and I've got maybe 10 of them I'm trying to put together and find as many as I can. So this one's going to be Karl Marx. That's interesting. And so this is going to fall in the category of not someone that I personally like, I don't suppose, but someone who is historic, and if you're in Russia, it's someone that they would want to commemorate. So it's kind of interesting to get that pickup. Just a historically significant person. So that is a commemorative 1 ruble of one of the most famous people to appear on one of the rubles, I suppose. So this is the coin that I did see in the thumbnail. So a little bit of corrosion, but doesn't have glue stuck to it like I saw in some of these others. So Palestine coins are really hard to come by. The only one that I've ever found multiples of is the 1 mil. This one is the 2 mil. And so that makes this only the third Palestine coin that was not a 1 mil that I've ever picked up. And so this is the coin. Catalog says this is worth $6, and I bought the whole set because I wanted this one. And I figured there was enough, based on what I could see in the picture, there was enough other good things in here to make the whole lot worth my time. Because I am going to, of course, try and turn around and sell all these someday. We've got the 1 cent from the 50-year anniversary of Queen Elizabeth's rule. Got the 20 euro cent from Austria, 2002. The 5 pruta from these early Israeli days, I forgot what they called this metal, but it made it look a little bit weird compared to a lot of others that came out of that time. Then we've got the Egyptian pyramids. So there are people that don't care about coins that do care about Egyptology and would find that coin very interesting. My wife has an uncle that is like that. In Turkey, we've got a 5 lira, aluminum from 1986. Not particularly rare, but you don't come across it that often. Gotten a lot of these 100 pesetas. And I'm starting to see a lot of these proof Canadian cents. Not sure what I'm going to do with all of those. Really corroded on that side, but we've got the 50 lira, Japanese 100 yen. I got to figure out how to cash those in. Okay, that's interesting. Former jewelry. So far, I do not recognize this coin. Am I going to be crushed that this one has holes in it when I turn it around? What is this? Maybe I have seen this. 1882, Mexico. Okay, so I think I've seen this coin. I think they had a silver 5 centavos and a nickel, or maybe this is copper nickel 5 centavos at the same time. Been a long time since I've seen one of these. And if I had one, it didn't have holes in it, but it was also in not even fine condition. So that one is certainly interesting, something I'm glad to get in a lot like this. I like these. Well, until I see that it has goo. Oh, that comes right off. Okay, so this comes from Argentina during their Australs currency. Still has, you can see where there was tape on here, so that's a little bit damaged, but featuring some kind of wildcat on it. So I like that design. That Philippine coin is practically turned red. We've got a Victorian halfpenny, dated 1891. Another one's 25 cents from that set. Okay, so this is the coin. I had pulled this is the one I recognize, and the one on the right is the one I did not recognize, being the same design. Maybe it is, and I'm just very forgetful today, but I know I've seen plenty of these over the years, and for some reason I'm just forgetting that other one. Another coin that turned red. Take a look here. We've got, when these are in good condition, they'll have a high book price, but might be hard to move with a high book price, but still. All of a sudden I see a bunch of these 50 ore coins all in a row. Still looking for what's interesting in here. Decent condition on this one. 10 kopeck from 1979. Algeria. Probably the smallest coin from there, but the one I find the most often, I think. 1964. Featuring the Hand of Fatima. It appears to have 2 thumbs over a couple of flags and a crescent moon and star. We have ourselves an Alabama tax token. Certainly an interesting mix. I think all I need is one of these lots, and I wouldn't need to purchase any more if they're going to be a lot of same things. Let me pause for a moment and dig through the rest of it to see if there's what's worth talking about. Several more interesting things in here. 1968 was the first year that Canada took silver out of their dimes. Sometimes you can tell by the reading, but you can also tell if it's magnetic. My magnet picked that one up, so that is not silver. Then from the we had an odd-looking Thailand coin earlier, and this was another one. That just does not look like a right metal. So this one was either artificially toned or plated with something, but otherwise would have looked nice and shiny. Here is a coin that I don't find that often. It's the half centavo from the Philippines. This one has been cleaned. And then here's one really good shape from the Soviet Union in 1981. From Indonesia, we've got this 1 rupiah with the bird on it. That's in good condition. From India, we've got the 1 pice from 1952. This was before they went to their decimal system. Really like this one from Uruguay. It's the 50 centésimos from 1965. I really like the look of that set. From Ceylon, we've got the 5 cents from 1944. Shame that it's got that one little spot on it. Then from Turkey, we have the, I think it's called the Anatolic Bride. And that comes from the region that she's from based on the headdress that she is wearing on here. That's a 50 kurus, half of a lira from Turkey in 1972. From Canada, we had the 1952 to 2002 50th anniversary on some other coins. Here it is on the... Oh, this is a different set. This one is the 1992 set where it was the 125th anniversary of the Canada Confederation. So we had the 1967 nickel earlier with the rabbit. So that's the 25 years later after that one. Then, hadn't seen one of these in a while, from Netherlands to East Indies. This is the 5 cents coin from 1922. I believe that's going to be rice in the background. And I don't know if that's supposed to be a couple of decorative roosters on either side of the hole, but we've got the language written in a couple of different languages on here above and below the coin. Then from Morocco, you don't find the one out of aluminum very often. I almost don't even recognize it. And the tiny little arrows, no, that's tiny little tulips maybe on either side of the one. So I want to go back and look that one up. From Canada, we have this 1 cent from 1920. That's in decent condition. This is the first year that they made the small cent in Canada. It's not a key date because it's not as short produced as some others, but that one's pretty decent. So this is the last coin out of the lot, and I hadn't shown it to you yet. And I had to spend some time researching this, and I don't fully still understand what this is. But it says Manchester and Salford Equitable Cooperative. This is going to be a 1/2 of a D, which means it's a half pence from Britain. Manchester is a city I'd heard of. Salford isn't, so it's nearby. This coin was minted by G.Y. Iliffe. And best I can tell, it's kind of the equivalent of today's consumer reward system. If you were a member of the cooperative and you spent money at the store, they would reward you with these trade tokens, which you could then later cash in and purchase more things with it. I think that's what it is. And this cooperative, and so these tokens could date back as far as 1858, but I don't see an end date on when something like this would have ended. But the 1/2 cent was the smallest coin that they made, and so it appears to be the same on both sides. So that's interesting, and so I have no idea if this is 50 years old or 170 years old. More likely somewhere in between. It definitely would be before Britain moved to their decimal system, but it's probably much older than that as well. Let me go back and now have us look at some of the other interesting coins that I pulled in the video. So for the Palestine coin, 1927 is the most common date. There were 5 million of them made. If you were willing to call this extra fine, it would have a book price of $6. If you wanted to take off for the corrosion on here and call it very fine, that would book for $3. Numista would say very fine is worth $4. So I'm still happy to have this because I did not have that coin at all. I did have this Moroccan 1 centime. I just hadn't picked one up in quite a while. It books for 50 cents. I don't know why I had trouble recognizing this actually isn't a 5 shekלים, but a 5 lirat from Israel. And without the glue, it books for $2.50. I guess I just don't see them all that often because I'd forgotten about this one. That last coin was only made in 1979, so maybe a 1-year coin is the only reason I recognized or didn't recognize it offhand. This one is a 100 shekלים from 1985, and I believe his name is Zeev Jabotinsky. And this coin books for $2 as my light goes out. And from the 2 coins from Jersey, this one's going to be an upgrade to my personal collection. But this one is extra nice. I did not have this one, and this one books for $1.50. So with this coin from Mexico, it's going to be difficult to say which version do I keep. Do I keep the coal version that is not even very good condition, or do I keep the coal version that has a couple holes in it? Well, this comes from a time where they're almost exclusively making silver 5 centavos that were much tinier than this one. But for a couple of years, they made it in a copper nickel version. And even out of those couple of years, the 1883 version must be super rare because it's worth a whole lot more. So, I did have it though. I did double check that I had this one, but 1922 is probably the better date. They only made this 3 different years, but 1922 is the smallest mintage figure. So this one, even in fine condition, books for $2.50. And then we get to the Karl Marx coin. I didn't catch on to this earlier that the coin was dated 1983, so it would be the centennial of the death of Karl Marx. And this coin books for $6 since he is an infamous person. There is a variation of this coin where when you look around the edge it says 1 ruble in Cyrillic. If you found the version of the coin that had 1988 on it, it was reprinted later in a proof version, and so that version is rarer than this version. I just went back through and reviewed everything and realized I also had the Jersey 5 new pence from 1980, so I didn't catch that one to begin with. I also think when I wasn't recording and I thought I was recording, I went through this Macau 1 Pataka. I hadn't seen one of those in a couple of years. And then this coin from Tunisia, well worn, but dates back to the 1800s. This side, I think, would have, I see the number 10 right here and have the number of centimes. And maybe it is 19 something based on the date. Yeah, I went back and counted, and there were 33 of those Bahamas 1 cent proof coins. And so it just surprised me that I had that many 1s and I didn't have any of the 5s or the 10s or the 25s. Because you would pull that out because that set came with a 50-cent silver piece and a $1 and a $2 and a $5 silver coin in that set that was nearly 3 ounces of silver. And with the way that silver's just taken off recently, it's not a surprise that people would just ditch those brass coins. But I'm glad to have a few of those as proofs. At least those of us who collect more than just silver would like to have those. All right. I have purchased other things off of eBay and been to other shows, so I will catch you in the next video. So until then, bye.